Hi everybody, my name is Wendy. I have a background in biotechnology. I also have 3 years work and experience to study human sense of smell. Also developing machine learning models to help us study your sense of smell. And I'm here to be a better data scientist. You have already seen, I know it's late, so I'll try to be quick. I'm sure you'll be out here in 10 minutes. So you have already seen 5 amazing shiny apps. So my shiny app is actually a little bit simpler than theirs, but the biggest challenge for myself while I was doing the project is how should I deliver the story. My project is gender pay gap, and my whole project is inspired by a news article you can see here. The Salesforce CEO promised women to get paid as much as men. So in my head, gender pay gap has always, I know it has been a problem in our society, but I didn't know to what degree. So when I saw the news, it's actually shocking to me because the company just spent $3 million trying to fix it, or just begin to fix it. So that's why I want to look into it. And my app is here, and I also have summary here. So the biggest challenge for me is, so after I found out I want to do this, I decide I want to answer 2 questions. So the first is, how would gender pay gap change over time? And the second question is, what are some of the factors that would influence gender pay gap? So I collect my data and I build an app, but then I think to myself, for me, I would like my audience to be able to understand the background, play with my app, and actually see what I see without me standing here and telling you the story. So what I did is I embedded my app in R Markdown. So if you're not familiar with R Markdown, it is a pretty nice way for you to turn your R script into a nice documentation, or you can do a presentation slides, or you can do Word, or you can do PDF. And here is mine is actually a HTML file. And since it is HTML, so while you code your R Markdown or a Shiny app, you can code HTML as well. So what you're seeing here, like the title, the fonts, and the bullet point, and this is also hyperlink. It's all in HTML, so I found that's pretty useful to me. So what I want my audience to see is what inspired me, and then here's also some more news articles about gender pay gap, and it pretty much just says it's still a pretty big problem in the United States, and the women are making about 87% of their male counterparts. So let's just go ahead and dive into the app. You have already seen this plot before. It's a motion chart. So here are some of the factors. I'm only going to point out 2 that I think is the most interesting to you. So the first is education. So this plot here, on your x-axis, you have the average income in an year, and then on your y you have your differences in income, and it's man minus woman. So for example, if you look at this point right here, it's all the population that have an educational background of 9th to 12th grade, and then in 1991 the yearly income is 10K, and then men are making 7,000 more than women. So let's play this so you can see the changes over time, and we can sort of see the incomes are getting higher, same as the differences. So now it's going towards now I believe it'll stop at 2014. Yep. So what you can see here is the difference is getting greater as the income getting greater, but however, it doesn't really mean the gender pay gap is getting greater, because the differences can just be based on the average income. So what I thought we should do is normalize the differences. So now we can watch this again. So now this point means let's go back to 19, the beginning. So the same point here, in 1991, for people who have educational background was 9th to 12th grade, they're making 10K, and then women are making, guys are making about 0.7 more than women, so it's like 1.7 of the woman's income. So now if we watch this again, the income is still getting greater, but the normalized difference is actually getting smaller and smaller. And we can view this as a line chart. So the first thing to notice here is you can see a general decreasing trend. So that means the gender pay gap is actually decreasing, but then you can see it start to flat out for about the past 5 years. And then another thing to notice here is this line here is people with master's degree, and then the bottom line here is people with doctoral degree. So with higher educational background, the gender pay gap tends to stay lower, and with a lower educational background, the gender pay gap is higher, but it's also decreasing. So another factor I want to share with you guys is the marriage status, and I only want to show the normalized score, and let's track the married couple and the divorced couple. So this is playing from 1970-ish. So you can see the income is getting greater, and for the married couple, you see a decrease in trend, and same as in the divorced couple. But now if you look at this. So what's the most interesting here is you can see the gender pay gap is way larger for the married couple than the divorced couple, and this can be explained by the traditional gender role. Because in our society, we still think men should go out and provide for the family financially, and women should stay home and take care of the family, even though that's not the same case for every family, but that's still like the social norm. And you can clearly see here when the couple is married, the gender pay gap is greater, but when they're divorced or single, the gender pay gap is smaller. So you can also see the same impact as some other different factors, and you can, yes.
Is it just difference between average income or
Technically speaking, it should be the same job level, yeah.
If woman is not working, there's no gender pay gap.
If women are not working.
Like you were just describing this married couple that says one of the spouses is not working.
Right.
So then notional gender pay gap has the same money for the same job.
Right, you're right.
Yet we're losing at the same time.
Right, from this graph, we can't really say the men will, the husband and wife, they wouldn't have the same job position, yeah, but this is more like, yeah, generally speaking, you can still see the difference between when they are married and when they're divorced.
So what does explain that huge gap? You'd think that for two different people working the same job, yes, there's a gender pay gap, but why should a divorced woman, for example, be so much closer to a man's pay doing the same job than a married woman doing the same job?
I think the other factor is work time. I think it's still gender. This might help explain it. So this one is a full-time job, as the yellow ones is the part-time job. So you can see when the employees are working full-time, there's a greater gender pay gap than when they're working part-time. So my thought is, as a married wife, you will have to spend a lot more time to take care of your family, and if you have to work for a full-time job, then you wouldn't have as much time. But if you have a part-time job, then your schedule is a lot more flexible, and therefore you can balance your work and your life a lot more easily. In other words, if I'm married and I have to work for a full-time job and I have to take a day off to take my kids to the doctor, it almost feels like I'm penalized because I have to take care of my family, and therefore, like the married wife, she might not have the same chance to perform as well at job compared to their husband.
So you're saying that women in traditional society cannot do the same job?
Exactly, because
so
they have
in
to.
that sense, there's no difference in pay for the same job. There is just difference in jobs.
There's different. Yes, you can see the difference in their job position. So men tend to achieve higher position in their jobs because they are
They spend more time there.
yes, they spend more time in their work, and therefore they make more.
So it's not gender pay gap. I mean, it might be a different, very important issue. But it's not.
They
It might be because women tend to find that married guys have a better job, have a higher position. If you go back to the marriage chart, so is that the two person from the same family, right? The difference?
not necessarily. Well, my data doesn't say who and who is married. They just have the marital, huh?
It's not like two persons.
No, it's not directly compared in a relationship. It's just
It could be as simple as when women starts making more than a husband, they get divorced.
that's also a possibility. Yes. Yes.
I suppose, I don't think it's here, given the NY data, would it be possible to find the difference in income for married men versus divorced or single men?
I'll have to check my data set, but I believe so. Yes.
It could be that what's happening is that women in marriages are causing their men to be more successful because they're basically supporting them in all kinds of domestic ways. There's a shift in terms of new cultural values. It's a pure hypothesis.
You mean like division of labor?
In a sense, yeah. That, someone is working longer hours than they would be able to if they were single because there's someone at home taking besides them.
Or someone goes to work and someone stays at home.
But the person who's staying at home actually still has a job. It's just
Exactly. But it's just
Not getting paid. That's a good point. I should go back and check that. But my conclusion from my analysis of the app is, I think the good news is gender pay gap is definitely decreasing for the past few 20 years or so. So that's good, but I feel like it has slowed down for the past about 5 to 10 years, and I think that's a lot of reasons still based on your traditional or stereotypical gender rule. So I feel like for us to really break the gender pay gap, we have to have a deeper understanding of the traditional gender role, and then we will be at a better position to fix this problem. And that's all I have, and feel free to play with my app, and if you come up with new ideas, please share with me, and I can try to make this better.